Hello, hello, beautiful friends, souls around the world. I hope you're doing as well as possible in these times of extreme, massive, fast changes within and of course around us. So I've been pondering a little bit on the, let's say, idea if I would write about this topic, about the energetic update, or just basically come online. And as there's so many layers to it, I really decided to rather maybe share my voice, which might reach some of you now in these times of or for a better understanding, and it might as well just assist you a bit in how to navigate what is actually coming to the surface or to the forefront on our journey. So, where to begin? I'm more than sure that many of you are feeling that no matter how fast things are now changing, going forward, but as well at the same time, of course, we are quite still purging as a collective field. And purging in a way that more we are starting to integrate light on this planet in our body. More, of course, it's gifting us that kind of push, that kind of vacuum cleaner, basically, and really exit or eject what is really not serving us anymore, right? And with this light, with this higher consciousness, which we all more or less now starting to feel more and more tangible, it is also affecting pretty much our previous, I will call it now like that, previous systems. And the previous systems on this planet, in this 3D reality, is of course the ego system. And ego system, again, we shall not now judge it in the way to say, oh my God, we are having this ego and it's not good and so on. It's not about that. It was just more operating in a smaller version, in a version which was more highlighting constantly the self, right? And when it goes too much in that direction, of course, it becomes more a self-indulgent, self-destructive even, and not healthy, balanced sense of being anymore, because then it's everything just about the self and not basically considering the surrounding, the others, or if considering, maybe it's me and then long time nothing and then maybe the others, right? So this would be now the extreme when we talk about ego system. But ego system in a larger sense is of course as well all the system created in this 3D reality, which are operating more from that sense of just taking for the self, right? Enriching just for the self and not for the all. And this we can, of course, pretty easy see, you know, with all the systems out there. Just to point out a few, if it's not the bank, or is it politics, or is it like school, any kind of system, okay? So, and again, because they've all been operating more from the limited version, so this means ego-centered version, of course, they were always lacking something, either lacking compassion, lacking to find solutions, which would then maybe enriching everyone and not just the few on the top, for example, and things like that. So this is now just to enroll and bring a picture for what I'm actually gonna share now here. So again, after this September, with all the eclipses we had, October brought up actually that we opened the Pandora's box. And Pandora's box in the sense, more we, through the eclipses, push, because eclipse season is always a super fast like a push for fast change, okay? It really brought now this cracking inside of us, and of course like that outside, we clearly see it in the world, of this ego system. So what is actually happening is the moment we are cracking within us with this ego system we all are having in our bodies, okay? It has to do with this sense of healthy value of self, healthy way of thinking. But if it's not healthy, then of course we speak about this egocentric, which isn't enlightened yet, which isn't a higher version of our thinking, feeling yet, okay? And that's why it's limited, and that's why it's not healthy yet. So not to be judged, we're just on an ascension journey, so it's okay. It's gonna continue unravel things which were just not aligned, okay, for our highest good and aligned for all of us. And this means now with this cracking of this inner ego programming, yeah, of all what we basically held on and thought we know it, we basically are controlling everything in our life. And with this light coming in now and it's cracking, it's this Pandora's box opening and showing us, all of us now, what we actually hosted in our physical body, hosted in our own being. And this is when we speak now about what is unraveling and what is coming to the surface. It's not just to see, oh my God, I've been operating maybe more selfish, or maybe more controlling, or maybe out of fear, or maybe out of power struggling and so on, right? But all of this, which was not addressed, and it's still not in the light, because now we are just in the first phase seeing it, all of this is actually, when it's not transmuted, it's like living, energetic entities, okay? So in these entities is when we're speaking about facing our inner demons, okay? So our inner demons will appear through those different emotional expressions which we are not aware yet, we are not conscious doing it, or if we are just still operating from a lower egocentric self, okay? So in that case, again, am I thinking just about my wealth, my things, and I have no empathy for others? Am I really fast, exploding, being in anger and frustration, and not being ready to open my heart and maybe communicate and find solution from a heart-to-heart conversation, or from a peaceful state, and so on, right? So, and if we are operating from all of this, then of course we have some wounding going on. Why? Because to really take care so extremely only for yourself means you have to backtrack and see, did you saw this in your family, that everyone was just like pretty much selfish, taking care of themselves and not really about you? Or is it like, again, early age being basically wounded from family construct, which were also not there for you, for us, and that's why we as well then operating more strongly from this kind of self-protective way, and that's why we always have to be right, always know the best. We're not open to collaborate, or really being open to hear other truths from others, and so on, right? So this means if we from early age, without understanding that we never really healed those wounds and started to cope with this wounding in a way that we just built up walls, became very cold, or maybe just very explosive and all of that stuff. These are actually these unhealed emotions, which then become these kind of inner demons, okay? So imagine that fear is not really your essential frequency of your body, of your soul, of your purified mind. So this is actually something which, when you're not addressing it, and not for a long time, and it's just like inside of you, it actually starts to operate like this energetic aspect of you. Again, entity, inner demon. I'm really stating it like that because this is, when we speak about inner demons, are these aspects we never really addressed, but they are from those wounds truly operating us. And take this in. So this kind of inner demons, which were never from our own wounding addressed, that's why they can still basically from inside out manipulate us, how we react, that we are very fast and, I don't know, snapping towards another when they maybe don't say something you want to hear, or that you close down, or that, you know, all sorts of coping mechanisms are still coming from the operation from these inner demons, which we never addressed, never healed those wounds. And these open, living inner wounds are then those from where this kind of energetic, emotional entities, our inner demons, are feeding off. And they are then making us react like that, or say like that something which we maybe from our just state of peace, of our heart, of our soul, would never say, never do. And that's why, again, this Pandora's box opened pretty much through the October, but just because it's equally so much more light coming into our body, into our consciousness, that now suddenly, I will say now, oh my God, we can see what all we host in our physical vessel. Okay, so this means what all we are giving space, and it's still from inside out, all of these energetic demons actually operating us. And it's really time now, beautiful souls, to not fear this inner work, our own demons, our own entities, because they are exactly the little, I would say now, bridge. When we cross that, you come then into this higher state, which we call now, you can say, new earth embodiment, you can say unity, consciousness, you can say just inner peace of knowing who you are, and not that you need to operate, or we need to operate anymore from these inner demons who actually have us hostile in our own body. It's basically crazy and as real as I'm speaking now. So this means when we speak about that something is, I don't know, attacking me, etc. and so on, it's actually all we speak here is energy. And it's really, if we don't have wounds within us anymore, emotional, mental traumas, and this can be on many various layers of ourselves. It can be in our physical body, it can be in our mental, emotional, it's really like, it can be everywhere, okay? Like a kind of parasites. Even physical parasites are actually something which are not just natural state of our own being, but we just compromised and ate something maybe not really organic, or it was chemicals, or I will not go now into details, but just to say it was something we compromised and not lived or acted from our own organic state or conscious state. And of course we kind of invited them into our physical body, and of course they are making trouble in our physical body then, right? And it's the same with when we talk about this inner emotional wounds, right? It's like a trauma which we tried so hard to suppress, completely in our subconscious somewhere to just think that we can live normally in our daily life and, you know, without any consequences, because we don't look and we are not addressing this wound. There is a consequence that avoiding it, denying it, or even trying to forget it is not helping us to actually really evolve into this freedom. And because we have then this open wound, that's then where actually we are attracting in this kind of energetic demons. All right, so this means that it becomes then almost like this energy. Okay, let's try this person out and bring them in another outer test, which then will always like poke into this wound of yours. For example, abandonment. Okay, and this wound is still open, it was never addressed, and now every time, and especially when you're not expecting it, we are then, or you are somewhere and you're tracking such situation, maybe in work, maybe relationship, maybe friends, maybe anything, maybe your health, just to show you that there is still this open wound, and actually you're then allowing that this is actually affecting and actually manipulating your daily life or your life path, because it was never addressed. And that's why when we talk about inner demons, is exactly the fear of addressing our wounds is where then this kind of inner open energetic aspects of us are running the show, and not us. Because if we are conscious being, a conscious creator, I will not allow then that some fear of the past, or some frustration from the past, anger from the past, anything like that would then affect my path. And that's the point, that this opening of the Pandora box, with so much more light shining now onto what kind of inner demons we're having, is actually now the gift to help us to recognize, hey, it's actually time to embrace these inner demons. And this embrace starts with to not judge the self that you are now not okay or less okay, or how can it be that with, I don't know, 50 years you still didn't take care of this wound, etc. and so on. To not judge ourselves in this process when we meet those inner demons, which only exist because we didn't take care of our wounding, trauma, etc. But that we meet our inner demons with our own self-love. Because only when we meet those demons which are holding us back, creating blocks, energetic, in our work, in our finances, in our love section, because they're creating that I'm not worthy, because I'm actually fearing my own dark aspects, because it was so terrible when it happened, when these traumas happen, when this situation with people happen, etc. and so on. And instead of constantly trying to fight it, like that you have to be now stronger, that this fear is not coming, or this frustration is not outbursting, instead of doing that, to not run, to not be now stronger, but just to sit there with it, with the feeling, with maybe even a vision, maybe even have faces for these inner demons, these aspects of yours, which make you then believe that you're not worthy of love, because it's like a whisper in your ear, like, oh, you're gonna be hurt again, you know, don't do that. These are those demons, okay? Because this is the wound speaking, because if you heal it, you heal this wound, there is no whispering voice saying, oh no, don't do that again. Okay, so every wound actually hosts its own demon. Okay, and again, please take it in an energetic way, not now like, oh, she spoke about demons and all of that. Okay, so we create them through holding these lower frequencies in our body. We are hosting them in our body by not addressing what needs to be healed. And again, they are then operating through the wound, our path. It's not us. Because if I'm healed, I'm deciding I'm happy to open my heart and meet a beautiful person. But if we didn't heal the wound, for example, of abandonment, right, then this demon who is basically the guardian of that wound will then say, hey, you know, don't trust anyone ever again, because they're always just, you know, taking you on to the right, or like hurting you, etc. But that's all the demon speaking, that dark aspect, this frequency, which is like not being transmuted. Okay, so it's not your voice, it's not your intuition, because intuition is pure, it's divine. It would never tell you things to basically make you doubt, make you fearful. And that's how you can also then basically divide and see the truth of that voice you're gonna hear, right? So this means this ego system, which is breaking down, which opened now more and more the Pandora box of what kind of energies we're still hosting in our body. Yeah, this kind of demons of our open wounds which we never healed. And these are the voices of those inner demons who will say, because you still have the wound of the abandonment, don't trust, don't open your heart, don't engage with anyone, or leave them like, you know, a bit further away, and so on, right? So this is not what your intuition would say. Your intuition would say, what do you feel? Does it feel right? Or it would say, again, if it's the voice of our inner demon, would say, don't trust, they're gonna hurt you. You see the difference? That's how we know, is it like really some divine inner voice speaking to us, or is it our really not healed wound with the voice of these inner demons? Yes, and again, for those who maybe came now later in, these are the voices of our unresolved, unhealed, untransmuted wounds we had, yeah, experiences, traumas, which we still keep in our physical body. And now it's really on it that everything is starting to detox. We're detoxing, like we do on a physical level, detoxing parasites, okay? And suddenly we're going to say, ooh, and I'm sure that many of you saw why so many people are talking now about detoxing parasites. It's a common topic now. And it's no coincidence, because it's really, we are doing it on many, many levels. Because more light integrated already on the planet in our bodies, more we're going to start to become aware how this detox is actually natural happening. It's almost like an inner understanding, like, I have to do that, purify yourself, purify yourself. Maybe you're called to go more to the waters, to the lakes, to the rivers, because it's really an inner guidance now that we are truly ready to face what this breakdown of these ego systems is bringing to the forefront. And it's bringing to the forefront all what the body hosted. And we hosted and still are, yes, not like, I can't say who, what, but a lot of these inner demons. And to not fear them, these are our aspects, which we gave power to rule and decide our pathway, just because we were not either aware, or we wanted to forget or suppress and deny all these hard lessons of our life. But now it's time to really do as well a big harvest of all what we till now experience, because this is as well a gift. And if we can see it as a harvest, okay, then even those demons and everything which is now rising up in our body, in the world, are just looking for to be transmuted for their peace. Okay, so they're looking how they can come now into the light, and we are the ones who are actually taking them. Everything. We're taking out the parasites, we're taking out the fear, we're taking out frustration, we're taking out that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy. How would one being who is aware, being basically divine, ever say, I'm not worthy? That's actually even not possible. So this means it will show us which are the voices of our inner demons who were leading our path, and of course leading us uphill and downhill and left and right. Still we were going on, but we were going on in a limited version, in a version who kept us maybe even away from so many beautiful gifts which constantly life was presenting us. Maybe new friends, new jobs, new opportunity to, I don't know, fall in love again and so on. But just because these inner voices said, no, you're not safe, no, you're gonna fail, no, people will speak behind your back, and these are all our inner demons, all right? And it's time to really face them confident and with your pure love, because this is the only way how also these demons, our wounds, will be ready to not be judged that they are there. Take this in for a moment. So many are not doing the inner work because they don't want to feel judged by their own selves, seeing, oh my God, I have this narcissistic tendency, oh my God, I have selfish tendencies, etc. And because they would face themselves in this, let's say, a little bit more nasty vision or mirror, they rather don't even start to work with the inner work, okay? So with the healing. And that's actually this circling of this ego system, because ego will want you to believe that you're always the best, the greatest, the strongest, nothing is wrong with you. And in a one way, of course, it also helped us, it protected us, maybe in situations gave us a kind of resilience, even it was just, you know, an inner built-up resilience. It's not now bad, but it brought us very much into a self-centered system and life of being, and not anymore into a bigger vision that actually those who I meet might have, all of them, a piece of gold of wisdom for me. Maybe I should open up and maybe listen. Maybe it is indeed love who was sent to me, that I can embrace, that it will not harm me like my inner voice demon was telling me, and so on and so forth. And that's why it is really not just time, because you can't run away from your own self. We can't run away from our own self. And trust me, we all are in it, because we are often not just feeling our own selves, but the whole collective field. And if usually the whole collective field has a unified topic, theme, then of course we will even stronger feel that, right? And that's why what I'm saying is October is all about meeting, and I don't want to use the word slaying those demons, because it's not really like that. I looked at it and it's more about, can I meet my demons, my shadows, in a completely new way? Means I don't need to fight them and win with light and love, but can I meet them as already, look, walking a master path? I was here, I'm gonna transcend now higher with my awareness. Can I meet them on this new path point in a much more conscious way, that I don't need to make it dramatic anymore? If a shadow, if an inner demon of myself appears, let me feel their frustration or anger or fear and all of that, that I can meet them basically with a Christ consciousness. And you know how Yeshua was walking, right? Like really in that peace. And even if they were, you know, doing all sorts or being against what he was presenting and all of that, he still kept that masterful peace, consciousness, that he knew they are not actually really stronger as they present themselves, and I don't need to fear them, but at the same time they will not understand me now telling them that. So I'm actually just in my inner peace, embracing it. And I would really gift you that suggestion to basically meet now everything with this opening the Pandora box brought now in October, and still will go ahead in a new way and a more peaceful way, because stopping judging what is appearing and which appeared maybe in a not nice way, or maybe you thought, oh, I don't have this, but you have this, that we don't need to judge it, but just see it, recognize it, and make peace with it by embracing it with your light, by embracing it with your love. And like that, this inner voice, this inner demon, this wound can so much faster, actually miraculously fast heal. It's not then taking any more weeks and months and years, etc. But that's why this eclipse pushed us so strong forward at this eclipse time of the September, because it knew everything is divinely orchestrated. It knew that this next phase will be that we're starting the clearing, the cleaning, the purging of these inner demons, because they are connected with the astral, right? This is the fourth dimension, and into the fifth, we don't have then anymore those demons, because it becomes really more a light family. And even if everyone looks different, right? Let's say galactics and angelics and all sorts of celestial beings, but they all are then in a unified frequency, okay? So really, I'm also channeling while I'm talking. So really take it in that those inner demons are actually this fourth dimension astral, which been causing this kind of pushbacks within your section of life, because the entrance were your wounds. And if the wounds closes, they heal, they merge your wisdom of all the experiences, of all what your soul chosen to experience, any kind of trauma, childhood, even abuse, yes, that we actually can merge this in now, and like that we are sealing these entrance points of these demonic voices, inner demons connected to this astral world, and then we can really freely, and even not anymore courageous, because courageous means that you have to take in all your power, that you will not have fear. You're just peaceful. Go and walk through this threshold, okay, into the fifth dimensional unified consciousness field. So I hope I've really explained it well, because I really wanted to use simplified wordings, what means now this cracking of the ego system within our body, and why we outside see suddenly so much, I will say now, hate and really nasty energies and situations, because these are exactly these demons I was talking about, our inner ones, because the light is now cracking the system and they are being freed. Yes, and that's why suddenly we almost feel it's more demonic than anything else on this planet and within us. Maybe not for all, but I'm speaking really here general, to see and understand that they would have these energies, right, these voices, no more relevance for the pathway going forward when we truly transmute them, embrace them with this new masterful peace, masterful understanding that there is nothing I need to fight against it, do this kind of resistance, that I'm stronger than the dark, because then you're still in separation. But these aspects of yours, these shadows, these wounds, are part of yourself. Means if you fight it, you are fragmenting your own self, and of course you can't enter fragmented into a unified self, unified experience, unified field of oneness, new earth experience. And that's why to not go into resistance towards these dark aspects, towards your inner demons. And this you go into resistance when we judge it, yes, but to say, okay, I have this tendency, I do have toxic patterns. I just say yes to whatever you find out about yourself, because no one is truly watching except you and divinity or source or God, right? And more you are allowing this process to really merge within yourself, it's easier to purge these energies out of your system, that you're not anymore hosting these energies which actually hold you hostile in your own body. And then of course the whole world you're experiencing around you is then exactly this reflection, that nobody really understands you, you're alone, you're hurt, everything is terrible, because you're hostiling your own self in your own body, which means I don't want to deal with my own inner demons, which are then those keeping me actually trapped in my own being. And those have only access through my open, unresolved, unhealed woundings. So it's really a beautiful work, and more than actually worth it, because it's opening the pathway to be able to shift and raise your frequency into a much more higher frequency, which brings then new experiences, and you're freeing yourself by allowing those inner demons who were basically eating from your open wounds, which we kept hosting in our bodies, that we free them. Okay, and this is exactly this pathway to go from this lower consciousness state in our body into this next higher consciousness state, which is exactly the threshold through the fourth into the fifth, because demons are nothing else than frequency consciousnesses of these distorted versions which are not brought into the light yet. Okay, and this means, okay, while we are not meeting our inner demons, then of course they have power through our words, through our ways of being and choosing. And that's exactly why it's time to free those demons which we kept as, which we hosted in our body, and really opening the passageway to the next higher consciousness state of our being. So that's all what it is. Instead, denying, fearing these kind of frequencies, which are nothing else than emotional entities, these demons telling us, don't go there, you're not safe. Don't do this, it's gonna hurt you. Don't do that. This is not what a pure intuitive channel of your heart, of your soul would ever tell you. This is not your inner guidance, because inner guidance would just say, how do you feel? Does it feel right? Or how does it resonate with you? That's inner guidance. So really try to be clear and focused here. Is it your intuition, or is it the voice of our own inner demons who are still having control over us, over our path, over our choices? Because they would say, you're not safe, something's gonna happen. They will bring fear within us with their suggestions, okay? It's not even a suggestion. They would say, don't do that. That's not inner voice, okay? So I really hope that it inspired you, because again, this inner work, I mean, I'm completely embraced in the past weeks with that. It's really empowering your own self, understanding like what truly this light we were constantly bringing now onto this planet in our bodies can embrace anything, any shadow, anything which was for years and years within us, and we couldn't kind of pass it, right? Any kind of toxic behaviors. It's really this beautiful understanding of who we are. And when we come to this understanding, then it becomes almost like, I don't fear to clean my room, even it looks very messy. That's our body. I don't fear to look, is this now here an emotion which hurt me once upon a time, or makes me frustrated, and so on. I am happy to clean it up, because it's then really opening up so much space in myself, and I can more freely decide without these constant inner demons chatting through my wounds just because they are not yet been addressed. Because I thought, no, I don't want to clean my room. No, it's like too much. I just go away and distract myself with the world, with the, I don't know, with the TV, with anything that's happening, and forget to actually do my most essential, which will make me feel better, to have outside a so much better experience of life. Because again, I think this is pretty much the ABC. Whatever I'm holding within me, any vibration will reflect the outside path of me, the outside world, the outside reality of my life, and so on. It's really more than important to say, hey, I don't need to go with anger and heart courage to slay my demons. No, I'm happily masterful, like I explained before, this master path. Here I was afraid to meet them. I'm stepping up here now, and here I can already with more wisdom, with peace, meet my inner demons, my voices, my wounds, my trauma, my frustration, my depression, my self-sabotage, toxic ways, whatever it is. I'm not judging it. I'm declaring it by seeing that it's there. I'm embracing it. I'm here on my master path, and I'm now in peace, saying, I had the experience, I'm now embracing you, and I'm completely merging it into my soul's bag. because the soul is the one with every experience just growing. It will not judge if I was, I don't know, a fighter, if I was a scary boy, if I was, I don't know, hiding behind bushes and not living life. It will not judge anything of that. So why would I allow these open wounds, some astral demonic frequencies operate me from there? Okay? And that's why these ego systems, okay, in my body, exactly the same outside in the world, are cracking and bringing light now to see what all we did or still are hosting within ourselves. We're hosting this parasite, this frequency, this demon. It's all okay. I can see it now, and I'm addressing it with my peace, because I'm now more here, more conscious, more aware, with much more light than I was here, where I was still hiding and fearing my wounds, my insecurities, my everything. I was judging myself so much that I rather run away and allowed anything and everyone who triggered that again to shut the doors to them and run away again. And I think we are now ready to really meet us in peace, because it's nothing else than meeting our own selves. So we can't run away nowhere, and it's really time to not fear that inner work, to not fear our inner demons, to not fear cleaning the room, because hey, don't we want to have a clean... Oh, I was gone. Yes, we don't need to run, not at all. But really take it in. Shall it inspire you to just see it as a different way now to do this inner work? That it doesn't need to be just with fear, with frustration, with resistance, with inner fight, but just really, I'm meeting myself. And whatever it was, it's okay, but I can completely in peace embrace myself to be ready for my next version of self. So much love from my heart to yours. Thank you for beautiful comments, and of course, just rise. October is an amazing time for this Pandora's box, which open up to show us what we host in our bodies, what we host outside there on the world, equal to us, what we host inside. And if we don't want to see this enormous craziness out there, which is inside of us, then just, hey, detox with peace, with embrace and self-acceptance. So much love from my heart to yours. Keep going. Bye.